morning, Vietnam. It's just a smidgen past 5 after 6, and here we go with another day's version of the Dawn Buster Show from Armed Forces Radio.
All right, we're ready to rumble. Let's do this.
All right, so let's go. So, hey everyone, welcome to Tribe Beat, where DJ Ozan and myself, DJ Cayce, we're going to look at the beat of the DJ culture around the world. Now, Tribe XR is all about using virtual reality to train people how to DJ. Well, we thought, you know what? People don't only need to know how to use the buttons and the knobs, but also kind of what the culture is all about behind the DJs. And that's what Tribe Beat is all about. So we're going to talk about the news stories making all the headlines with the DJ culture. We're going to take you down a rabbit hole into all sorts of neat places where DJs perform. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Down the rabbit hole. I love it. And there's nothing more fun than going down the rabbit hole. And also, a lot of what we want to do with Tribe XR is not only bring music to people and bring technique, but also bring culture. So that's a big part of what we want to achieve.
Yeah, so,
right?
Yeah, totally. And you know what? You can interact with us. You can get on Twitch at the Tribe XR site every Wednesday night, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Chat with us, ask us questions. We may have an answer, we may make one up, whatever. But it's going to be fun.
In any case, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a wild journey, an experiment in this new technology with VR and music and culture. I mean, come on.
So, Ozan, I'm really excited kind of to share everything that this week I picked up about the DJ culture. Mm-hmm. And I want to explain kind of what we're going to do with this fun show. I've got this screen here, which you're not seeing yet, but I'll just tell you, we're going to start out with DJ news, then we're going to do a feature city, then we're going to talk about events from around the world, and then I'll talk about something that triggered me to go down the DJ rabbit hole. And in this case, I learned about an amazing record label that has so many cool artists that have so many cool tracks for us DJs to use and mix with. I think you're going to love it.
Nice. And you know what? I just want to say that one thing that's amazing is no matter how whenever you dive into music and you dive into a track, it really is a rabbit hole because just one thing leads to another and everything is connected.
Oh yeah, totally. So as the slides get caught up, I'll figure this out as we continue on. But let's start with the DJ news.
Yeah.
So one of my first stories in this is, interestingly enough, at the end of 2018, I can't believe we're really in 2019.
2019.
It's crazy.
Happy New Year, everybody.
I know. Happy New Year, everybody. But they go, you know how they go through when all the different people that passed away over the year? Well, one of the people was Adrian Joseph Cronauer, and I'm not sure if you know who that is, but he was actually a DJ from World War I. Say that 3 times fast. World War. No, the Vietnam War. What am I saying? Woo!
Let's say that 3 times.
I know, right? So, and he actually was hired, or I would say his mission was to help take people. Wait, where's okay? To help. In 1987, a film was actually made about this called Good Morning America. And in this film, they showed...
Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, Good Morning Vietnam. I gotta stop looking at this screen. So in this
Good Morning America!
So in this whole movie and everything about it, basically, Cronauer said the movie was largely a fictional adaptation of his story, but yeah, he did play rock and roll, and he did do characters, and he did use the saying,
Good morning, Vietnam!
Yeah, it was his signature saying. But he was much more subdued than the character in the movie, he said. And in the New York Times, they had his obit, and I found this amazing what he said. He said that on the radio in Vietnam, he was always conscious that his listeners were young soldiers who were strangers in a strange land. And then along came the military and literally picked them up, took them halfway around the world, and dropped them into a totally alien environment. And culture shock would set in with a vengeance. And it was his job, or his mission, as they say in the military, to provide an antidote to that culture shock by giving them something familiar to listen to. And he said what he tried to do was make it sound as much as he could like a stateside radio station. And Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that really resonates with me, and because that's in large part what we at Tribe have been wanting to do for a long time, is bring music to people. And that's that's sort of the core of DJing in general, is you have a love for music, you have a love for a particular track, and you connect with it so passionately. The first thing you want to do is share it with somebody else. And so you and I, we're connecting across the country. When we, DJ with Elliskins and others, we're connecting across the world. He's in the UK, I'm in the US. So
right.
We have ways of bringing the power of music to each other. And it's not just it's music in itself is a beautiful thing, but it also has these huge cultural, it resonates culturally. So it's awesome to be able to share not just the power of music, but the power of your particular culture with other people. So, yeah, I mean, it's at the core of what we want to do at Tribe too. So it's cool to, it resonates.
Yeah, totally. And I found in my little rabbit hole, if you will, a clip that was actually him doing his morning greeting. And Ozan, do you have that to play?
I do, yeah. Let me play it here. One sec.
Good morning, Vietnam. It's just a smidgen past 5 after 6, and here we go with another day's version of the Dawn Buster Show from Armed Forces Radio. I'm Airman Adrian Cronauer, and for the next 4 hours, we've got the best in popular music for you here, so let's get started right now with music.
So, yeah. I mean, he was also, the reason why I know about him is because of the movie and because of what Robin Williams did for the character. And I'm a huge fan of Robin Williams. He's actually a local hero for us because, we're based in San Francisco in the Bay Area. And so was he. Basically, he was raised in the Bay Area, went to high school in Marin High School. And his house is just a few streets down from my house, or it was a few streets down from my house. And I remember when I saw him perform live at the New York Met, I believe it was the New York Met. He did that stand-up routine. It was incredible. I mean, not only was it freaking funny, but it was just like a work. It was like a masterpiece. I mean, I think he was at the height of his game on that show, and it was amazing. Ever since then, I've loved him, and it's pretty cool that he brought so much awareness to Cronauer and what he did in Vietnam. So yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of starts us off about a DJ culture that, from Vietnam. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
what do you have
check
up
it
next
out
for us?
Yeah, great resource that I found called Crack Magazine. It was a website called crackmagazine.net, and it's music from the UK to add to everybody's DJ toolbox. This magazine reviews new artists, albums. It features DJ mixes from clubs around the UK. Plus, it has lots of information about events and anything DJ there. I clicked on DJ mixes on the website, and I found this really cool DJ mix from a man named Leaf. And I just loved what I heard. And I think you have a few of his tracks, don't you?
I do. So
Let's check some out.
This is very... it's, this really spacey, ethereal, beautiful, peaceful vibe, largely atmospheric. But let's listen to a few minutes. I think you guys will enjoy it.
Yeah.
This one's called Taraxacum by Leif. So it's Leif spelled Leif. I guess you probably have it on the screen. But, yeah, so that's him. I mean, just check it out.
So, Crack Magazine described him as being adored and acclaimed at every turn. However, his overriding reputation remains as a DJ. He was known in particular for his long, languid warm-up sets, which meander seamlessly through dreamy ambient, psychedelic techno, rattling broken beats, and pitch-down jungle. He does have a Bandcamp account and a SoundCloud account, so you can check him out, everybody.
Yeah, and we can hear some of that in these mixes too. Here's another one of his tracks. This one's called October Light.
Ooh, October Light, I like it.
Yeah. Also, DJ Cayce, just so you know, I can hear a little bit of the feedback through the phone when you like listen to it.
Yeah, I caught that.
So you might. Yeah, good.
I heard myself.
I
That's
heard myself.
Weird.
This is a nice one.
Yeah, so the hope is that people hear these and kind of find different tracks that they like too.
Yeah. What was this is Crack Magazine that led you to this?
Yeah, crackmagazine.net.
There must be rabbit holes. I don't think there's just one rabbit hole, right? There's many rabbit holes, and this was one of those tunnels that you tumbled down. Were there other DJs that were part of that you discovered on Crack Magazine?
Oh, tons of other DJs.
Oh, nice.
You know, they have a section that's artist specific, a section that's DJ mixes, a section about albums, a section about clubs. So you can click any one of those and head down a rabbit hole.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this gives us a good taste of Leaf.
Good old Leaf.
You know what he reminds me a lot of too is Brian Eno. Brian Eno's famous rock and roll musician that was part of Roxy Music, and then eventually started doing solo work and really got into ambient music. And he has this one album called Music for Airports, which is extremely ambient, but it's just the most beautiful thing, and you can listen to it over and over and over again, and you can listen to it in these really wonderful situations, like whether you're relaxing at home or you're working on something on your computer, and it's just there kind of filling space and warming the space a little bit. There's also another artist that this reminds me of is Aphex Twin. The Aphex Twin's a little different because he's got this huge range of styles, from really, really aggressive and almost gnarly and intimidating to the most angelic, beautiful, sublime, like ambient music. So if you ever look up ambient works by Aphex Twin, it's like really incredible. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, hey, story 3 I found on another great resource called djmag.com.
Yeah.
And I actually think you told me about this resource.
Yes, DJ Mag. We met Danny Deal, who's the editor-at-large at DJ Mag, and so that's why it kind of popped on my radar. But I think it's basically the premier magazine for DJ culture.
Yeah, so the story that I found is about a man named Paul Van Dyke, and DJ Mag reported that Paul Van Dyke began consuming music by listening to forbidden Western radio stations and smuggled mixtapes. Forbidden because he was on the wrong side of the wall in Germany. But after German reunification, he was perfectly placed to start DJing in the city's clubs and raves, pioneering the trance sound.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of fun. And DJ Mag talked to him about 10 songs that inspired him. And I found it fascinating what his first one was. It was by the Smiths.
The Smiths. I have a copy of that, actually. Let me pull that up here.
Yeah, and it was called Hand in Glove. And he was saying, did you find it?
No, not yet. Keep going.
Okay, he was saying that it was the first track he heard that really sounded different. And it was at that point that he realized there's so much more to music than he first thought. You know, he basically said he used to just sit, kind of listen to the radio in a numb mind. But then after that song, that's what kind of inspired him to become a DJ.
Let's listen to it.
Okay.
I got it right here. think I have it. Where's it? Here it comes. Yeah, classic. Wow, it sounds so wobbly compared to modern electronic music.
Yeah.
Oh wait. There we go. I had sync on.
Oh. So his crucial place in trance has been well documented, but the interesting part of his story is that it's not the only interesting, but he had a terrible accident a couple years back, and he fell through a stage during a show, and everybody feared that he was never going to walk again. But now, thankfully, he's back making music and playing shows again, and he had a new album come out called Music Rescues Me, and it pays tribute to the restorative powers of music. So, Ozan, there's a song on there. There's many great songs on there. Mm-hmm. And I think you found a couple to play?
Yeah, I did. Here, let me put this one on. This is the one that features the Music Heals Me or Music Rescues Me?
Yep, Music Rescues Me.
Paul Van Dyke.
From the valley of the city, the sky spills over us, and the streets snake through the earth. I'm switching off into a billion ones and zeros, where everything is fixed, and I'm wrapped up in your song.
Ooh, sped up version.
Play it slow. Here comes the chorus.
Everybody dance in your chairs.
Yeah, I'm totally chair dancing right now. Music rescues me. Music is amazing. If you think about what's happening when you like go to the gym, people that go to the gym, you know, sometimes listen to music to get them pumped up, or soldiers will listen to music, or athletes will listen to music. It's like it has a physical effect. I mean, the dancing is an expression of that. So I can see that it would also have a healing effect as well, especially if you have like damage to your body. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I just kind of love that. I imagine that the reason Restorative Powers of Music was his tribute in this album is because he probably listened to music the whole way through, healing after that fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just kind of love that I did.
Cool. Here, let's have a look at this one too.
Okay. You can tell I really had fun checking out these stories. Cool. Well, while we listen to this one for a little bit, I'll kind of introduce our next segment.
Do it.
Which is our feature city.
Oh, yeah.
And woohoo! And we're going to kind of talk about clubs in our feature cities. And our first one, since this is our first show, I thought would be appropriate to feature San Francisco, Ozan's home city right now.
Yep.
So, Ozan, I think I'll turn it over to you to talk about the cool clubs that are happening in San Francisco.
Yep. One thing that, I've been living in San Francisco for a while now, and we have a record label in San Francisco called Dirty Bird, and they're sort of largely based in the Bay Area and rooted, yes, Atlas, SF, woo woo! And I've had a lot of interactions with that community. They throw the Dirty Bird crew as well as the Sunset crew. They have like boat parties, or they'll have parties in Golden Gate Park, and it's just an opportunity for people to get together and dig the jams and get to know each other and get to discover themselves, and so, you know, dance and party. And they've had their stomping grounds are a few of these clubs in the Bay Area. So there's one called Mezzanine.
I love the Hearts Atlas.
There's one called Mezzanine. There's one called Monarch, and there's another one called the Great Northern, and they're all sort of interconnected in that there's folks that have folks play at those clubs, and folks that owners of them are owners of other clubs and things like that. So the Mezzanine is one of my favorite. It's sort of a mid-sized club. I would say it fits about 1,000 people. It has a mezzanine, which is really cool in the sense you can go up there and look down on the crowd. They have they compel big names, so you'll have some headliners come in there and watch some high-end performances. But it's also accessible.
I saw it when I looked at it, because you had mentioned that you love this place.
Yeah.
I was checking out, and they have some really big names in there.
They have some big names in there, yeah. Plus, the Sunset crew and the Dirty Bird crew will also have parties in there. And Atlas, I think, at one point, Atlas was living around in that neighborhood. It's a pretty dodgy neighborhood. It's like really
Atlas, you were in a dodgy neighborhood?
Yeah, I think when Atlas was just over the past few months, when he was kind of getting himself settled and situated in SF, he was staying at a place in that neighborhood which was affordable, but man, it was rough, super dodgy. But it's kind of how it rolls, right? And then right around the corner is Monarch SF, which is more of a bar. It's got this amazing gate that it's always really impressed me. I think it's the most beautiful architectural design thing. But nice. a lot of the crew will play there as well. It's a little bit more like sweaty underground. It's a basement style. But a lot of the after parties are at Monarch. And then there's the Great Northern, which is the one that we recently played at ourselves. Tribe had an event outside at the Great Northern where we live streamed a DJ named David Starfire. He was actually at home in VR in Ohio and streaming all the way through to San Francisco at a live party at the Great Northern. So that was
cool.
Yeah, that was super cool. So yeah, those are a couple of clubs in San Francisco.
I heard sad news about the Mezzanine though.
They're closing down, or?
Yeah, closing down because the owners of the building want to up their rent 600%.
Oh, Jesus. 600%?
Yeah, is that crazy?
That is nut balls. That is super
I can't blame them for closing. Let's hope they find another location though, maybe, and kick it back up.
Well, San Francisco property values are crazy right now, and it has to do with the tech boom. San Francisco essentially overlaps with Silicon Valley, so you can think of it as Silicon Valley basically extends from San Jose to San Francisco and everything in between. So it's just impacted all of the property values. So I have a house I own a home in San Francisco, and I'm just so lucky that I did, because the rentals. Damn those tech startups, which we happen to be one of, ironically, which is which I guess I should
call yourself out, man.
Yeah, call myself out. But yeah, it's a real culture clash right now, because you have basically all the major tech companies. It's Google, Facebook, Apple, you name it, they're all here, which is crazy. The most influential companies are all within a few miles of each other, and so naturally they hire thousands of people, and it drives up property values. So that's kind of, and then it's affecting the DJ culture and the music culture in the Bay Area in general. So yeah, that sucks. It blows. That's my conclusion. My final analysis is that blows.
Oh no. Hey, when I was looking at all these just now, I see on Monarch on Saturday, January 12th, mark your calendar, Ozan.
Yep.
It says Essence of a Sound with Ron Trent.
Ooh.
And it says, among those most influential, none has been as consistently creative as Ron Trent.
Ron Trent?
He's he's house music dude.
Nice. We'll have to get some of his. Maybe we'll do a show on him or something.
Yeah, totally.
Boom, boom.
And next time you have a party at the Great Northern, I think I need an invite. I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we should do a party. And you know what I love about your philosophy is about keeping it local. You know, that this is,
Yeah.
you know, VR is amazing and technology is amazing because it's global, and I can connect with people in Denmark and I can connect with people in the UK. But it's also really special to have local strength, you know, local community. So that's what these clubs are about, like local events. So we can focus on local areas, you know, in the coming shows.
Go visit clubs around the world. That'd be really fun.
That'd be really fun. Do virtual shows at those clubs, kind of, you know, not just in a...
Totally.
Yeah. You know?
We could send a beam in, like our little presents, you know, could like zoom around.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah, totally.
Well, let's move on to kind of some DJ events around the world. And my first stop I want to talk about is in Germany. And it's a club I've mentioned to you before called Berghain in Berlin, Germany.
I love me some Berghain.
Yeah. This place sounds amazing. And it's kind of like on every list of anything talking about clubbing in Berlin that you have to go to Berghain. However, from what I'm hearing, like, it's pretty hard to get in this place. And even the regulars get turned away sometimes. And it's such a cult that somebody even made a DJ trainer that you can download and actually, not a DJ trainer, but a bouncer trainer, the doorman guy, who asks you 3 questions and you have to answer them. And if you get them wrong, you don't get in. And it sounds like there's a lot of occasion that people don't get in. And you know, being an Ohio American chick, one of the things I'm reading over and over on different blogs is that if you don't speak German and they catch that, they're probably not going to let you in.
Ooh, that's harsh, man. That's harsh.
So, man, now on my bucket list is getting into Berghain.
Well, first learning German and then getting into Berghain.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Did you try the app?
You know, I tried it several times, and I want to hear from people. Like, you guys, it's called BerghainTrainer.com. Try it. Let us know if you got in and what your questions were and how you answered. I'm just curious how people fended and what kind of questions, because I got different questions every time I did it. Did you try it?
I tried it. I got rejected, and I was actually offended. I was really offended and the thing is that it has a different vibe about it. It's not exactly a Velvet Rope vibe. It's not as if you're trying to get into a Hollywood party or a New York party and you're just not cool enough in a fashionable, like, oh, you're not rich enough, beautiful enough. It's not about the beautiful people. It's about something else, you know?
Oh yeah, totally. I even saw a piece from a television show in the UK that was all about fashion, and they had someone take somebody to dress to get in Berghain. It was all black. All black. It was like black jeans, a black sweater, kind of turtleneck thing.
Got me there. Okay.
Like just worker boots.
I see. He's wearing
pretty much it.
He's wearing a scarf too, so it's cool to wear.
See, you're set.
Yeah, so I could rock the scarf. I could just dye this one black, and then I'll be good to go. What's funny, I've been following a few DJs, and there's one on Facebook that submitted she posted a thing about a picture of Berghain without any title and just said who's gotten in.
See,
so even pro DJs, you know,
I want to get in there, right?
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of that, you know, they actually have a lot of characters themselves, and those specifically come in the form of DJs. One such one is Steffi, and her name is actually Steffi Dom. She's a DJ, producer, record label owner herself, and the label that's out there that's kind of associated with Berghain is called Uskat Ton, Ton. But we found some music from her. I thought it would be fun to play just like a track or two and hear what kind of music she plays, because people now invite her to come to events all over the world.
Yeah, so I'm playing one of the tracks now. Here, I'll play another one so you can hear the variety of stuff. This one's got a bit more of a late nights, dark bunker vibe. So if I understand correctly, the space, the Berghain, used to be a power plant. So it's got this monolithic vibe to it, which seems to fit with Berghain, with Berlin culture, and the Berlin style.
Yeah. And they actually have a couple different bar areas / DJ dance areas. They got the main one, which is on the main floor, and then they have one upstairs that's called the Panorama Bar. And so the main one's more techno, from what I read, and the upstairs one is more house. Then they have a men's club that's attached to the building but outside. And they also have a garden area, and they say the garden area is kind of anything goes. It just depends on the DJ that night. But man, these parties, like, I read that you show up on Friday night, if you get in, you're partying until Saturday afternoon.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, I know, right? And if you get in Saturday night to the party, that thing goes all the way through Sunday into Monday morning.
I'll have to take
Can you imagine?
I'd have to take my pep pills to be able to survive that amount of time.
It would be a lot of fun, I think.
Or take a disco nap halfway through or something.
Yeah. I'm not sure I would last the whole time. I'm pretty, I don't know. I wonder if you could, like, leave and come back, get your hand stamped, and, not have to go through the
somehow
line.
I doubt that. Can you imagine?
Is this the Disney line?
Yeah, is this the Disney line? Can I leave and come back? Bodyguards.
I'd love to see the
bodyguard's
little,
like,
bouncer's face when I asked him that
bouncer
question.
He'd probably be so shocked he'd probably say okay, but maybe he'd like, no. Or he'd be like, well, because I had a friend actually. There was a big line. A group of us were going to a club in San Francisco, and there's a big long line at the door. And my friend, this was a few years ago before weed was legal. My friend said, I can't wait in line. Watch this. So he goes up to the bouncer, and he goes up to him super nervous and kind of anxious, a little agitated, and says, I cannot wait in this line because I have a medical condition that gives me anxiety, and I'll show you. I even have a medical marijuana card to prove that I am not able to stand in line. And unless you want a lawsuit of some kind forcing me to wait in line, you'll let us in. And the bodyguard was so disoriented. He was so like confused.
Oh my God.
He was like, all right, go inside. We got in.
Oh my God.
Funny.
Oh, that's a new tactic that I might have to try
tactic.
sometime.
I should. Full disclosure, my friend's a lawyer, so he had all the lingo down.
Wow.
Let's hear another one of Steffi's tracks.
Yeah. So Atlas, you like these tracks we're playing here?
I think Atlas will like them. And they're good. Oh yeah. That's a what?
Oh yeah.
It's funny. Imagine if one day if we were able to play in Berghain. Like, it's funny because we've been inspiring ourselves with this idea of playing at Tomorrowland, which is a beautiful. I don't know if you've heard of Tomorrowland, but it's just a beautiful festival. The production quality of it is off the charts. The stage that they build is just stunning, and they have all the world famous DJs playing there. But we've been thinking of that as the inspirational destination for everybody that's learning how to DJ. It's like play at Tomorrowland or play at the Ultra Music Festival. But it dawns on me that you could just as well say, hey, play at Berghain. And I think for a certain class of techno DJ, they would go for that. It just doesn't have the same kind of colorful play at Berghain, because it's just play at this scary bunker that you might not be able to get into.
None of your friends can actually hear you play because they can't get in.
But
hey, enjoy everybody else.
Because they don't wear all black.
Yeah. Well, let's go from Germany a little bit closer to home to Mexico. Yeah, the next event I want to talk about is called Storytellers, which is a little bit like Tomorrowland, to be honest.
Yes, it has that vibe, yeah.
Yeah, and this actually took place January 2nd and 3rd in Tulum, Mexico. And Tulum, oh my gosh, it's a town on the Caribbean coastline of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. It's known for its beaches, well-preserved ruins of ancient Mayan port cities. The main building is the large stone structure called El Castillo, castle for all you people that don't speak that way. perched on a rocky cliff above the white sand beach and turquoise sea. And this sounds to me totally amazing. And I thought it would be kind of fun to take a look at some of the images from there as I kind of tell you a little bit about it. But basically, the Storytellers Festival completely transforms Papaya Playa Project into a dreamland, a fantasy world designed to explore new levels of immersive experiences that combine music, performance, technology, imagination, and the biggest thing, a fantastic lineup of DJs. Woo-hoo. And they had, people named Damian Lazarus, Jan Bloomquist, Stavro, Carlita, Nikki Sedeka, just to name a few. And what's even cool about this group is that they totally also do this for a good cause. And that's called Oceanic Global. And that basically, you can kind of imagine, honors humanity's essential relationship to our ocean. They have a website that you can check out called Oceanic Global. And their goal is to raise awareness of devastating effects of human consumption of our aquatic ecosystems. So all of their stuff, half of the money, I think, from this, or a percentage of it, goes to Oceanic Global. I love when big, amazing events have a fundraising type of feel to them for a good cause.
Yeah.
So, super cool stuff, and I think you have some music just from different things from there too, right?
I do. So I have the audio. Hang on.
Oh, from the video?
Yeah, that talks about. Yeah, so talks about what the Storyteller group is all about.
Okay.
So I'll play some of that while you play the video. Yeah.
Dance with the Rainbow Warriors, with their hearts in the clouds and their feet on the ground. The believers, the dreamers, the healers, the cheerful, and the earth carers. Let their spirit ignite a fire within you to make this world better than the way you found it. Free your hearts and let your inner child go wild.
What up, Luke?
Hey, Luke.
Good to see you. We're doing a little journey down to DJ culture. Right now we're in Tulum, looking at the Storytellers group
Events.
Yeah.
All my friends say he's a fool and promise that you're cool inside, but you just can't envision. Maybe one day you'll be brave and trust your life and say to them, you just can't envision it.
Nice.
So
Luke.
it kind of reminds me of Burning Man versus, mixed with Cirque du Soleil a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I can see that totally. Let me get this going here.
So this whole ad, you see the website there for the Oceanic Global,
Yep.
but this whole promo kind of really started me down a DJ rabbit hole that led me to a record label that I think we're all gonna use in our future mixes for some of those artists.
Yeah. Yeah, the Crosstown Rebels. In fact, I kind of went down that rabbit hole myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It started with me because I was like listening or looking up all the DJs listed, on the 3 different stages at Storytellers, and one of the main ones was Damian Lazarus. And I come to find out after finding a whole set from like a whole bunch of artists, and they were all from the same record label, come to find out that he actually owns that record label.
Boom.
Yeah. And he actually, being a musician himself, he recently came out with an album called Ancient Moons, and I think we have a couple songs from that too, right?
Yep, I'm playing one of the tracks right now.
Sweet. Just
Damien
Fly Away?
Lazarus. You know, I can't see
Oh.
the title, so I can't promise you what it is. I just have 3 tracks from the Ancient Moons.
Okay, cool. So
Gotta
yeah,
get scrolling tracks. Feature request.
yeah, you see the name, the musician,
Yeah, all
maybe
these-
the album it's even on if it
all
is
the
on
info.
one.
That would be cool, actually. If I could click the name right now and then just like a cool kind of bio or pop up about the DJ would pop up, that'd be really cool.
That'd be super cool. So after listening to a few from Damien Lazarus, and we can also listen to some too, I went to his website where I saw Crosstown Rebels labels listed and realized that that's his record label.
There he is.
And
the man, the myth.
yeah, I started checking out all the different artists in Crosstown Rebels, and they all have this kind of
Alice made it funny.
does Damien Lazarus belong to the Church of Satan? Oh no.
Come on, that's sexy. He's very dark, but that's brooding, sexy, you know, I'm gonna eat you alive sex appeal.
Look at the one below it though. He's got color too. He's got a little colorful outfit going on
Yeah,
there.
he's got a little bling going on there, doesn't he? I could whip up an avatar like that, just go all black on black on black with a beard. I don't know why Atlas just said daddy issues, but it's always a good
Yeah.
thing to say. That's
I'm just gonna say, I think that's sexy. Just saying.
it's sexy. And then also, I feel like daddy issues would be a good fortune cookie to have. You open up a fortune cookie, you open the piece of paper, and all it says is daddy issues. That would be... Yes, Atlas, unless he's watching, because he's very intimidating. So, you know,
You're in trouble.
you're in trouble. He's gonna come after you.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like he's actually a good guy. That he's hosted a bunch of other musicians. That he's sort of a godfather of sorts.
And what a cool thing. I mean, really helping. I'm sure someone helped him get to where he is, and it's like he's paying it forward, right? He's
Yeah.
helping others do the same thing. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, let's focus in on a couple of these artists. The first one I kind of honed in on is called Sis, and the alias of Barak Czar.
Hmm.
And he's a German-born producer, heavily influenced by his Turkish roots. Who else do we know that has Turkish roots here?
Turkish. I got Turkish roots. I got Turkish roots in my heart and in my soul. The Turkish roots I got grown out, you know, down to the earth. Because
Yeah.
I was born in Turkey. I am Turkish. I know you can't really tell by my avatar, but I am Turkish. You couldn't tell actually even if you saw me in person, because you probably have this impression of a Turkish person being dark complexion and looking sort of, you know, Middle Eastern or Arabic, and some do, but some also look very white, because it's basically a melting pot between Eastern Europe and I guess, you know, the Middle East and Europe in general. So I actually have Russian roots as well, like far, like, you know, descendants, my mom and grandmother and so on, have Russian descent. So anyway, I am Turkish. I was born there, but one thing led to another. My dad was a spy, and he brought us to the U.S., and that's why I'm here.
Whoa, wait, jump back again. Your dad was a spy? You just
Well,
kind of just
but I
like
can't-
put it out there?
Yeah, but I can't tell anybody, so it's a secret. Just don't tell
It's a
anybody.
secret. Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anybody. Shh, don't tell anyone, but my dad's a spy.
I know, right?
He's
Too funny.
code 006.
Do you have dual citizenship?
You know, I could have, and I probably should have, just because I would have had the option to, you know. But the thing is, if you want to keep your passport in Turkey, you have to serve time in the military. And at that time I was in art school, and it was like, can you imagine leaving art school in San Francisco to go join the military in Turkey? It would have been
Right.
such a culture shock.
Quite the culture shock.
Yeah.
You would have needed Cronauer to be playing some music in the background of that one.
Good morning, Istanbul.
Oh man.
But apparently,
Well, let's get back on track.
Oh, gotcha. Do it.
So Sis, this good-looking Turkish man right here, he had his big thing is tribal triple threats, and he loves the beat from tribal beats kind of things. And I found one song called Dandini. Do you have that one?
You know, right now I'm playing the Karmir Noor track.
Oh, okay. All right.
But this is Sis. Just know it's Sis.
It is Sis. So all sorts of really good beat music from him. I think you'll love it once you listen to several of his songs. So put him on your list to check out because you're really going to enjoy it.
It's cool.
Yeah. And another guy that I found in the mix of the Crosstown Rebels is
Crosstown Rebels.
Crosstown Rebels is called Serge Devant. And Atlas, he's another dark, brooding guy. I'm just saying right now, warning you now.
Just a quick question, like, what do you think the Crosstown thing's about? What does Crosstown mean? Like,
well, I think it has a UK vibe to it.
Well, I just mean, okay, but what does it mean? Do you know? Maybe we don't know. Like, there's Crosstown Traffic, which is that Jimi Hendrix song. Crosstown Traffic. And I always thought about, there's downtown. Downtown means something, right? Downtown means the city. It means the financial district. It means kind of where all the action is. Like, I'm going downtown. It means something, right? And then uptown means something where it's kind of like, hoity-toity and rich. It's uptown, kind of snobby, clean. But what is Crosstown? Is Crosstown?
I don't know.
Maybe Crosstown. It's a mix. Anyway.
Yeah, everybody's there. It's all across. Look it up, will you?
Well, these guys are Crosstown Rebels, so maybe they're rich and hip, or they're, something like that.
Rich and hip.
Yeah,
okay.
Running or leading across a town. Running or leading across a town. So if a Crosstown Rebel is somebody that basically is like a pioneer, like a frontiersman, a Crosstown Rebel.
Yeah.
I can dig that. Well, also, you said that he has a lot of international artists, right? Like,
right.
So maybe it's about, cross-global. Crosstown means,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, I mean,
Atlas.
Yeah, Atlas is calling it out. So going across town or following a route, I mean, that is the most sort of practical meaning for it, going across town. But I can't imagine you'd name your record label Crosstown for sort of that kind of pedestrian reason, right? Oh, I'm going to walk across town. I'm a rebel that walks across the town. Can't be that, right? It's got to be like.
But you're probably the whole melting pot of all the different people he has.
I think it's a melting pot thing. They should have called them melting pot rebels. The melting pot rebels.
Well, check him out. This is Serge, and Serge Devant. He did what is said to be one of his best albums to date with Crosstown Rebels, the immensely sensual song Thinking of You, which is also the title of the album. It sees him team up with Damiano and Camille Sofia with invigorating remixes from Heavyweight's Reboot and Art Department. I have found I like Art Department, and we'll get to him next week, but just FYI, that's what we're going to talk about next week. So he's been turning heads since the seminal feeling Love Feet Camille Sofia dropped in 2015, and I think you might have that song too. Are we listening to Thinking of You right now?
We're listening to Serge Devant. It's the Damiano featuring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's the one. Yeah.
That's Thinking of You. So he actually got Best Music Video Award in 2016 at the Hollywood Independent Reel Film Festival. And I think that's kind of cool at a film festival, these guys being recognized.
Yeah.
So he says working at Crosstown Labels is like creating magic. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
now, the third one that we're going to look at, it comes from Italy.
Atlas, yes, yeah. Use your discretion when posting things out of the Urban Dictionary. That could go really dark. That could be like, not kid friendly.
Carson. All right. So this group's called Pasta Boys.
Pasta
Boys. They gift us with a rhythmic, hypnotic 3 partners, and their names are Uvo, Rami, and Dino. They got a funky rhythm and tech house power. The Pasta Boys, the EP is a trance-inducing affair. The trio lure us in with opener Colo Colo, and I think you do have that one, Ozan.
I do have Colo Colo. Hang on, let me put that on. This one's also Pasta Boys, but I'm going to put on Colo Colo.
Yeah, it's got a funky rhythm that sets its precedent in trance-inducing power builds, layer upon layer into an intoxicating hypnotic groove. Check this out for a second.
Fucking Alice.
Don't do anything custom.
That's fucked up.
Alrighty then.
I don't want to know. I want to know. I don't want to know. I want to know. What could it
That
possibly
must be
mean?
a story, DJ Atlas, you need to tell us. But,
There was a phase when there was all these, like, gnarly making, quote-unquote, making love things, like your rusty trombones and your dirty Sanchez's. I remember, like, there was a period of time when that became really popular, of just naming the most gnarly things you could possibly do. And then it just seemed to stop.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a thing that... It's not... I don't know. But, yeah. So, Crosstown. I wonder what Crosstown is. We'll have to see what that is.
I might have to call a guy and ask him, just so that we can have an answer next week.
Gotta go see a man about a dog.
Yeah.
Find out what it means.
So another one of theirs is Abasa, and it's heavy on bass with a sensuality that is palpable. The African vocal adds a tribal touch before the track tumbles into a crescendo of urgent synth. So I think that one might have been the first one you played, but we can listen to both of them. You can kind of cross back and forth.
Well, they're different BPMs, so they'd be a little tricky to mix. I could speed this one up, but...
No.
We can let this play for a bit.
Yeah.
Pasta Boys, Colo Colo.
Uh-oh.
I wonder why they call themselves the Pasta Boys.
Maybe because all their moms made them pasta.
They sure look like they've been well fed. Maybe it's, they're Italian.
They all have beards and mustaches.
They all look kind of like a Mario. Alright, so I'm gonna play the go back to the Abasa.
Oh, wait, look. I think on the guy on the end, he's got a daddy tattoo.
Daddy tattoo?
Oh, my. Look at the picture.
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing it.
See on his arm?
Yeah, I mean,
I
see
don't
it,
know.
What does that mean, daddy tattoo?
I don't know. Maybe he has kids.
Oh, he's probably good.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, let's see. Pasta Boys, Colo Colo. Oh, I have just the two. Boom, 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 boom.
Cool.
Oh, it means papi in Spanish. Papi.
So, hopefully we can leave them with one last one.
Yep.
Dance Spirit, featured by Fab Morvan. Do you have that one?
I don't think so, unless it's
Okay.
titled something else. Oh, is it a Crosstown Rebels one?
Yeah?
Oh, let me
Yep,
see.
yep, yep.
I kind of did a thing. Yeah, Dance Spirit, I do have that one. Yes.
Yeah.
I just labeled it Crosstown. Woohoo!
And then we'll see everybody next week with some happenings from the DJ Rabbit Hole
Yeah.
here on Tribe Beat.
The treasures down. These are like discoveries. What should we call them? Oh, we were gonna call them. We had a thing. What was it called?
Beats. Yeah,
Like
we were beat matching.
Beat matching cultures.
Yeah, beat matching culture.
Beat matching cultures. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. We'll go down the rabbit hole. We'll find all the goodies. We'll bring them back up, share them with you guys, and it'll be part of beat matching cultures.
Yeah, so join us every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern.
So this is Dance Spirits. Crosstown Rebels.
All right.
Dance Spirit.
Cool, we'll listen to this one all the way out.
Okay, cool. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Atlas, what'd you think? You can put it in YouTube, you can put it on YouTube, you can put it with YouTube, you can put it any preposition with YouTube you want. Just don't put it on the end of YouTube. Atlas, Atlas, we're loving this, and DJ Cayce is just an angel spirit. So
I'm in the beat.
yeah, she's in the beat. We were thinking about a tagline, Atlas. Maybe you can help us work it out. Somehow we stumbled onto beat matching cultures because it's called Tribe Beats. Beats the Beats radio show. DJing is about beats. DJing is about beat matching. But what we want to do is bring different cultures to the show, you know. And like
Different cultures or just different everything DJ, you know?
Yeah,
all the stuff that surrounds it.
yeah, everything DJ. So yeah, I mean if it's cultures, like if just focusing on culture is too much, then maybe we don't want to do that, but
Yeah, because
To
it's
me-
definitely the DJ beat. You know, we're
It's
gonna
the DJ
find the
beat.
DJ tribe
yeah.
and find the different beats. Some are high, some are low.
Well, the
You know?
thing I notice is that there's the music itself. There's, you know, like if you can't beat it, sink it.
That has a lot of connotation.
That's like a cartoon, right? You know, made for cartoon. We should get like a Dilbert cartoon out of that. So like there's these different attributes of what we're doing, you know, what we're all doing, right? There's the music itself, there's the techniques associated with you know, playing of DJing, there's all the business of DJing, like clubs and so on, and then there's the culture, or at least the you know, the cities, the locations, the clubs. And I just think of like a way of wrapping it all up in a little bag. Like what would it be? I just think of that whole thing as the DJ world or the DJ culture. I guess culture, you know, but
Yeah.
there's all the business of DJing.
It's kind of the beat of the DJ culture.
Yeah. Pulse. Sinking DJ culture.
Oh, tribe beat, sink in the DJ culture.
Tribe beats.
Sinking up with the DJ culture.
Tribe
Yeah.
beats. Yeah, sinking up. Sinking DJ culture. DJ world. Well, a lot of what you brought today has been just wonderful content.
All of what I brought
All
today
of
is
it.
fantastic
All
content.
of it. Come with confidence. Come with confidence. What is this? Being humble. Fuck being humble. DJ Cayce's the queen. Queen bee. Cool. Well, if there's nothing else, what do you say?
Let's.
We got one more minute.
We have a whole minute.
We have a whole minute to do whatever we
We
want.
actually did pretty good then,
It is really good.
because I was kind of going fast through some stuff, worried.
You know what we were? We were right on the beats.
We were right on the beat.
Right on the beat.